Hey guys, Godfather of Anxiety here. I just wanted to do basically a thank you video to my subscribers. I can't believe it's been a year that I've been making these videos and posting them. And I'm so grateful for all of the comments, all of the times that you guys have shared your experiences. That was my whole point in starting this channel. I felt like especially men, but people in general are very reluctant to speak about mental health. And coming from where I have came from, I said that wrong, but starting where I started in this journey, and then to be at a point in my life where I feel like, I can responsibly share some tips and some things I've learned over the years, as well as have the confidence that if I do face any potential relapses or anything like that, I have the tools now to be able to deal with them. And I feel like when you have the answers like that, I think, if you love humanity the way I do, you have to share. And I feel like if I can help anybody, even if it's just, to go get treatment or, tell a loved one what they're going through, something, or just realize that it's anxiety and not some physical thing. This is why I did this, because I struggled 3 years. It took me to even admit that anxiety was the cause of my issues, anxiety and depression, and then another 3 years to get successfully treated. And my biggest regrets stem from those wasted 6 years. And I don't want you guys to ever have to go through wasting that amount of time when treatment is, accessible and, within reach. And especially, I know that a lot of you out there have expressed some, being disheartened with the mental health profession as far as finding a good doctor and getting treatment or a good therapist. But, even without a therapist or a doctor, having the knowledge that it's anxiety and you can still do a degree of the cognitive therapy on your own, as well as the exposure therapy on your own. And that's why I talk about things like sleep, exercise, diet, your breathing. Guys, these are things that they don't sound, they don't sound sexy, but when it comes to getting yourself better, those are all boxes that need to be checked. Whether you're taking a medication or seeing therapists, you still need to get your sleep right. You need to get your exercise right, and you need to get your diet in a place where you're controlling what you eat. What you eat is not controlling you. And this is really important. It's a really important part of getting better. So that's why I've put such an emphasis on that in my videos. Also, not isolating, just various things that I noticed over the years and battling these mental health conditions the way that I have. Things that really make them worse. Like if I can share something with you guys, it's going to keep you from, turning something that's bad into something that's a nightmare. That's my goal. I want you to be able to, manage it. It's not like you're not going to have bad days. Guys, I still have bad days. I do. This has been a rough year. At some point down the road, I might explain to you guys exactly how rough this year has been. But, there've been a lot of things. And I know you guys are going through the same thing. I know that in this life, no matter who you are, you experience, whether it's the loss of loved ones, whether it's, family trials, economic issues, in these times, it's harder than ever to make a living. And that puts a lot of stress on you right there. So, and I feel like that's why the channel is important. That we just came from the pandemic, in 2020, and it was about 2.5 years where things were just way different than they were before that. I think that put a strain on a lot of people's mental health. I think that's borne out in the numbers and the fact that the mental health industry, if you want to call it that, that's unfortunately what it is in the United States, but there weren't enough mental health professionals to provide the need during the pandemic. Because, and again, that's forced isolation. And that's why that should let you guys know how bad isolation is for us as human beings. We're social creatures. We need that social interaction. But, this last year's been great as far as the channel goes, and as far as just the amount of people that, have reached out in the videos, and some of the comments are, thanking me, and some of the comments aren't, and that's okay. If it creates a dialogue about mental health, if it makes you guys cognizant of different things you can do to improve your mental health, and maybe you have a loved one you can share it with, that's all that I really, hope to accomplish with this channel is education and then the belief that you can get better. And that's, if you're looking at me, please know this. No matter where you're at in your mental health journey, guys, if I can do this, you can do this. There is nothing special about me. There's nothing great about me. I'm a regular guy. I have a regular job, and I face all the same struggles that you guys face. And it's with the right tools, anybody can get better from these mental health conditions. And it might not be overnight that this happens, okay? Some people recover very quickly. Other people, it takes a while. And it's not linear. Sometimes, you'll think you're out of the woods and better, and something, you'll have a panic attack, or you'll have racing thoughts or intrusive thoughts. When you think those are put to bed, and then all of a sudden you start having one, again, but like I've mentioned to you guys, labeling intrusive thoughts really quickly as what they really are will help them to leave your mind as quickly as they come into your mind. And, again, these are the things that I've learned. Again, over 22 years of dealing with this stuff. And I still do. I'm going to tell you guys this too. I still get intrusive thoughts sometimes. I still fight myself on health anxiety sometimes. I still have racing thoughts. I still even, let's see, when's the last panic attack I had? I had a panic attack a couple of months ago. It was a very short one. They're a lot shorter than they used to be because I know how to react / not react to them now. But again, and I also know when I'm going to be susceptible to having something like that happen. And it always has to do with a lack of sleep and the amount of stress, both externally and internally, that I'm feeling. But, to get the information out there, that the less you react to the anxiety, the less power you give it, the more quickly and likely it is to abate. I think that you'll see a lot of, things that are supposed to cure it. And listen, there's lots of things that work for different people. I know that some people, have had a lot of success with medication. I know people who have a lot of success, dealing with it through, controlling their breathing or positive thoughts. So it's not a one size fits all thing. But I also know there's a lot of, business opportunities out there where people are just trying to say, here, take this and it'll go away. And all I can tell you is even with the two medications that work together to help me to recover, that would have been a tall tale if I tried to say, yeah, I just took those pills and they made me better. No, those pills got me out of fight or flight. That's what they did. And enabled me to do the therapy that I needed to do in order to recover. And some people, there's new therapies all the time. And if something works for you guys, do it. Because you don't want to waste your life stuck in fight or flight, having racing thoughts, having intrusive thoughts, having panic attacks. You don't want that to be the case. So this is all this was a thank you video. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Spread the word. Help people to tune into the channel, especially if you think they're either anxious or depressed, especially if you think it may be at a clinical level, something where they need treatment. Have them take a look at the videos. There's a lot of information in my videos, and again, it's stuff that has personally worked for me or things that I've personally had to go through. And if I can help you guys not to have to go through it so that you can say, hey, I'm going to learn from this guy, great. That's the whole idea behind this. So I can't believe it's been a year. I do have some plans for the channel. I'm trying to sync them with real life, and you guys know how that can be. It can be difficult. But thank you so much, guys, and until my next video, take care.